The weaver is weaving. Will you join me? Beloved community of faith, be it morning light, midday sun, or evening hush, when two or more souls in worship abide, love walks in that nothing can divide. So here we stand, healing in grace. It's a sacred joy to share this time and this space. Make no mistake. This is not a political sermon. This is a biblical sermon. Both parties have been playing political football with this and many other issues for your votes for decades. Still, make no mistake. We are living in a time when people are trying to redefine love. Redefine love of neighbor. And to rank it, to restrict it, to ration it. Some are even trying to put compassion on a schedule, to limit neighborliness to proximity, politics, and bloodlines. But the gospel doesn't leave those options for us. Jesus never asked, how far away is too far to care? He never said, love your neighbor unless they speak another language, unless they have darker skin, unless they look nothing like you. No, he said none of that. He said, love your neighbor as yourself. And when sly scroll keeper asked, well, who exactly is my neighbor? Jesus answered with a story. You've heard it. A man beaten and left for dead. Two, not one, two religious leaders, respected and righteous, walk on by. They see him, but they keep on walking. Then along comes a Samaritan. Not someone from the man's community, not someone with a heritage or theology. In fact, the Samaritan was someone that his people despised. And yet, the Samaritan stopped. He saw the wounded man, and his heart melted with compassion. He didn't ask the man if he deserved help. He didn't calculate the cost of his compassion. He acted. He treated the man's wounds. He paid for his care. He paid until he could promise, if it costs more, I will cover it. Then Jesus turned to Sly, this legal scholar trickster who wanted to find limits of love, when he asked, which one was the neighbor? And even though Sly couldn't bring himself to say, the Samaritan, he answered truthfully, the one who showed mercy. Make no mistake. Mercy is not about who deserves it. That's what makes it mercy. The power of just mercy is that it belongs to the undeserving. That's what Brian Stevenson reminds us. And when mercy shows up where it's least expected, it's powerful. Powerful enough to break the cycle of pain, of violence, of dehumanization, of division. But Sly in the gospel isn't just asking a question. He's giving Jesus a test. And Jesus turns that test around. Because here's the truth. Sometimes it's Jesus who is asking the questions. Sometimes it's Jesus who is taking the test. And sometimes, dare I say, most all of the time, it's us who the questions are for and who is taking the test. And this test, as I say every time we serve communion, it's not about doctrine. It's not about credentials. It's not about whether or not you can spew off the law and the prophets and the gospels. It's about whether the law, which is love, lives in you. Whether it's made a home in your heart so deeply, a home so comfortable, a home so deeply in you that when you see someone in need, your heart melts and you move closer to that need instead of away. Make no mistake. There are forces in our world, some cloaked in religion, others cloaked in politics, that want to justify walking past the wounded. Recently, we saw this very thing, a political official, a public official, invoking this very parable, maybe you remember it, tried to argue for ordered love, a ranking list of obligations. First family, then community, then country, and maybe, if there's anything left, for the stranger. It sounds kind of reasonable. It sounds responsible. Make no mistake, Jesus doesn't teach measured mercy. He doesn't offer a triangle chart for compassion. He tells a story that blows up the whole idea of hierarchy altogether. It wasn't the insiders who loved. It wasn't the ones with the highest titles or the closest ties. It was an outsider. The one everyone else would have assumed had the least responsibility. And yet he was the one who showed mercy. The Samaritan didn't pass by. He didn't look the other way. He didn't worry about how close he could get to this man. He saw someone suffering, and he stopped. That's what love looks like when it's not afraid. Because this story is not about who's on your list. It's about who you live, it's about how you live your life. This story is not about who's on your list. It's about how you live your life. Who do you love when nobody is watching? Who do you love when the cost is real? Who do you see as your sibling in God's world? Make no mistake, the question is not who is my neighbor. The question is, am I a neighbor? Are you a neighbor? Are we neighbors? And being a neighbor doesn't depend on what someone believes, where they're from, or how they got there. Being a neighbor means showing mercy. Especially when it's inconvenient, especially when it's uncomfortable, and always when somebody else is in need. Friends, right here, right now, is the test. This is the roadside moment. It's the choice to walk past or to kneel down. It's whether we act like God's love has no borders or whether we dare to love the way Christ loved us. Not with conditions, not with loopholes, but with a melted heart of mercy. And in the end, Jesus says, go and do the same. It's not go and think about it, not wait until you're ready, not love selectively. Go. Do. Show mercy. As followers of Christ, make no mistake, that is the call. Amen? Amen.